Hello. My name's Elder, and welcome back to this channel, the channel you're watching today. Remember to remember to remember to respect your elders. So, what are we talking about today? What's going on? What are we doing? Well, um, if you're new to the channel, if you're just tuning in for the first time, we welcome you. This is a channel where we investigate hard conversations, deep dives into topics that may not otherwise ever be discussed. Today, we're going over this situation we have with the coronavirus, the uh, the virus that's named after the delectable beer of summertime. Um, so yeah, hey Lee, thanks for joining us in the chat. I think we've all been reading about this a little bit lately. It's been in the news quite a bit, and yeah, so we're going to get into just exactly what it is, what's happening, what's going on around the world. If it's something that you need to worry about, is it just a big overblown scare? Is this all fear mongering? Is this something we should be worried about? Let me know what you guys think as we go along. But I haven't looked too far into it, just hearsay here and there, and from what I've seen around. So I thought we'd investigate it together as we do from time to time here on the stream. So where I'm at right now, I've heard different individuals going around saying that it's all fear mongering. There's nothing to be worried about, right? But let's ask ourselves, what is the coronavirus exactly? Because here we have from USANA Health Sciences frequently asked questions. What is the coronavirus? Well, so Middle East respiratory syndrome is a viral respiratory illness caused by a coronavirus called Middle East respiratory syndrome. The earliest was first reported in April 2012 in Saudi Arabia. It is not the same virus that caused severe acute respiratory syndrome, or SARS, in 2003. However, like the SARS virus, MERS-CoV, I'm just going to call it MERS-CoV from now on. MERS-CoV was detected in camels, and one infected camel case had been linked to a human case. However, the route of infection is still unknown. So, apparently this was initially sparked out of Saudi Arabia. So, Lisa, second case in the U.S. in 2 hours is just 2 hours from Lee. That's actually pretty wild to think about. The thing is that it's absolutely everywhere these days. It's spreading like wildfire, and we're here to figure out whether or not it's a problem that we need to address on our own. If it's something that we need to worry about. 12 countries have now reported cases of human infection of MERS-CoV. Most of the cases are coming from the Middle East. So when was this even from? January 9th. So just a little while ago. So before it all started breaking out into mainstream media, I guess. Really, I don't know. What are the signs and symptoms of MERS-CoV infection? Acute serious respiratory illness with fever, cough, shortness of breath, and difficulty breathing. Some may present with gastrointestinal symptoms, including diarrhea, and some with kidney failure. People with immune deficiencies may have an atypical presentation. Asymptomatic illness has been reported. Some basic symptoms: chills and shaking, coughing for 2 to 3 days, fever and a headache, muscle aching, can't eat stuff anymore. Who wrote this? Confusion, rashes, hallmark symptoms: coughing, breathing becomes hard, fevers 38 plus Celsius degrees. And other breathing problems. Less common symptoms are coughing, diarrhea, dizziness, nausea, throwing up, runny nose, yada, yada, yada. Either way, if you want to find this stuff out, I will leave links in the description as well. Hey, Barry, thanks for joining us in the chat. Saying there that you had your H1N1 swine flu in 2010. Wasn't a big deal. Your body fought it off just fine. See, that's what we're here to decide. Is this something that we need to worry about, or is this something that this is something that we need to stress out about? So I'll leave links to all the things that I'm talking about in the description below as well. I'll just give a little shameless self-promotion while I'm here at it. If you'd like to help support the channel, links as always will be in the description below, but you can always donate through I used to have Streamlabs up. I guess I don't have Streamlabs up anymore. Yeah, if you want to help support the channel, you can always donate through PayPal. I also have a Patreon, but your viewership's it's good enough for me, guys. Thank you very much. So we're gonna keep getting into what's happening. Coronavirus, right? It's just literally everywhere, and I have a bunch of different things saved, and we're gonna start with these apocalyptic scenes from the engulf of China. What does it say? Apocalyptic scenes engulf from the engulf of China. Apocalyptic scenes engulf Chinese cities as lockdown extends to 40 million people. Right? Like, this is absolutely wild. So here's the video. People in full hazmat suits out on the street. Doesn't look like people are in too much disarray, but we will see as we continue to go on. People are taking to social media to share videos of empty public spaces being fumigated, grocery stores emptied, and public people collapsing. People collapsing in the streets, perhaps. And we got Charles Patterson here. What you got to say? I know that I don't know enough about it. That I do know, but I do know that a very last thing I will do is panic and let someone inject me and my children with legitimate like poison, yada yada yada. See, and that's the whole thing. A lot of people are thinking that this is a government ploy in order to get people to be subjected to certain certain government programs or whatever you want to call it. Like, maybe you're going to be injected with something that's going to stimulate mass depopulation. Who knows? There are conspiracy theories out there, and I will not. I won't take it away from anybody. It's whatever you want. But we're here to discuss it tonight and see where you're from. Am I from Maine? No, I'm not from Maine. Do I sound like I'm from Maine? But I am actually from Canada. China is struggling to contain rising public anger over its response to a spreading coronavirus, even as it took unprecedented steps to slow the outbreak, restricting travel for 40 million people on the eve of Lunar New Year. So this is something that's come out and that's been talked about quite a bit, is the fact that China didn't really do enough in order to stop the spread of this virus. And so what I've heard from a lot of sources is that within the Chinese public, it's well known that nationalism is a very fundamental thing. And so, the government doesn't want to admit to doing anything wrong. And apparently what I've heard, all through the grapevine, is that a lot of these reports had been suppressed. And really the only time that we saw this come into the forefront of media and how it's been being discussed is when it hit international levels. When you look at what's happening within China, there are so many different cases where it's spreading like mad, right? Like, so crazy. And these are just the reported cases. And as we all know, China likes to not fully report their statistics when it comes to things that are negative. And so we can only assume that it's actually a lot worse than what we're being told. So that's not to scare you, and it should not be something to put fear into you, just something to keep in mind that there are potentially a lot more cases out there than have been reported so far. You got to say there, Barry? I say don't be a clean freak, be kind of a slob, and expose yourself to lots of dirty stuff, and keep your immune system strong. Right? See, that's a sentiment that's been expressed before, right? You just expose yourself to the elements and to the dirtiness, and then build up your immune system. But that's also the idea around vaccines as well. Expose yourself to the negative things in little increments, and you will be okay in the long run. Ambient Vibes, thanks for joining us. What do you got to say there? It's a thing in China culture. Its government falls once there is a big famine or apocalypse. That's why they hide it. See, I've heard these things as well. Just differences in situations. But on the face of it, the fact that the Chinese government really doesn't like to admit their faults and doesn't like to admit when they've done something wrong, hiding the information really makes a lot more sense, as well as to maintain stability throughout their nation, because the people need to trust in their government if it's going to remain prosperous in that sense. But anyways, let's keep getting into to some more information here about what's been going on. The government ordered travel agencies to suspend sales of domestic and international package tours after imposing transport curbs on cities near the center of the outbreak. So I think that we've all heard the outbreak started, I guess, in Wuhan, China. This is what I've heard. But the turmoil comes as the virus stymies the virus stymies effort to track infected patients while the death toll continues to rise and now includes someone as young as 36. Some infected patients aren't showing a fever, a symptom governments around the world have been using to screen for the pathogen. And so this is something that I was saying, like I just said, I feel as though this has really spread farther than we potentially know, right? But one of the reasons that I feel as though that is the case is because I heard a physician talking the other day, and they brought up the fact that one thing that has not been happening. We haven't been screening. We haven't been looking for this until the past few days, I guess, within the past few days. And this virus has a 2-week incubation period. This isn't fact. This is just from what I've heard, a 2-week incubation period where you don't show any symptoms at all, and you can still be passing on the virus. And therefore, there could be potentially so many people out there that are harvesting this virus at the moment that are passing it on to other people that aren't exhibiting any symptoms. So it's something to keep in mind. And Slappy, thanks for joining us in the comment section. I can see you say there that we're all going to die, and that's a good point. We're all going to die one day. It's how, it's when, and how comfortable are you going to make your life in between the time that you were born and you die? And so it's not something to be afraid of. You shouldn't be afraid. You shouldn't be freaking out here, but it is something to keep in mind and keep yourself safe, right? And that's why we're looking it up and figuring out what's going on. The pressure is rising on China as it tries to come to grips with a disease that some fear could rival SARS, which 17 years ago claimed almost 800 lives, while global experts have mostly praised efforts to contain the virus. Chinese citizens are increasingly critical and anxious as travel restrictions grow to encompass a population bigger than Australia. And that's the thing to keep in mind. The Chinese population is huge. It's absolutely massive, right? And so there are so many people that are being affected by this as well. I don't know. It's a hard thing to grasp, because especially here in Canada, there are not anywhere close to as many people. And I see Lee says population control there, but the thing is, it's spreading outside the borders of China. I don't think that that's something that should be implemented within China at all. It's something that perhaps the government may do, as we've seen in their past, but too many innocents. I think that everybody is innocent within this situation. I think that we don't really know what's going on, but we do know that things are ramping up, and we may not have been given the full story up until this point, at least in my opinion. Beyond the restricted area at the epicenter of the outbreak, major closures took place across the country amid health fears. Amid the health fears, public events to mark the new year were canceled. Shanghai Disneyland announced that it was closing indefinitely, and cinema chains canceled movie screenings. The halt to activity comes during what is usually a peak period for the spending, putting China's economy stabilization at risk. And I mean, I'm sure that their economy is not really at risk, but this is a very prosperous time of year. But the fact that these are things are being said, that their economy is at risk, the stabilization of their economy in this is not, but that they're taking a big hit, and that they're still willing to do this because the entire world is watching. They have to do this. It puts things into perspective. So here's another video. Wuhan goes into unprecedented lockdown as coronavirus something or other. It's coronavirus something. It's just more videos out of Wuhan. And this is what the city was looking like a few days ago. You got everybody in masks, ambulances everywhere. And I mean, like, this doesn't look too apocalyptic. I've heard stories that it's looking like straight Judgment Day. Everybody in the supermarket, everybody's got masks on and stuff. Not much food. You're not going to get things imported when your city's on lockdown. And this is a massive place. This is a huge place that's on lockdown. So, something to keep in mind. Let me know how you feel about that. 11 million people. They're shut in the whole city. That's right. Government spraying disinfectant in the residential area. Sounds like Chernobyl. Right? Like this is kind of weird. This is the kind of stuff that I was looking to see. I don't want to see it, but this is the kind of stuff that I've heard about happening. Where it's like you have mass areas being sprayed with disinfectant because the entire city's on quarantine. Like this is nuts. Like this is not something that we want to be happening. But also, it's like take the proper precautions, right? If that's what you got to do, that's what you got to do. People are collapsing on the street due to pneumonia. Like that's wild. You got a person right on the street there. Like that is nuts. Like absolutely nuts. Right? Because people are getting sick. That's going to cause lots of problems. That's not what I want to see. Another case of collapsing on the street in Wuhan. See the medics' gear? It's probably coronavirus, as you can see. People getting loaded into stretchers with full hazmat suits. Like, that's nuts. Imagine being a police officer standing there. They just have a mask on. These guys have full hazmat suits on. This is just something that, what else? What is it, right? See those memes? Dodge World War III. You got coronavirus coming right up the rear. Right up the rear. But yeah, they're saying Wuhan's a ghost town. Nobody's out and about. Nobody's doing anything. Clearly, because it's on lockdown. It's just nuts. More of them spraying. Yeah, interesting. I got a lot more things saved here for us to cover. Let me know what you guys are thinking in the comments below. What's your name there? Avagulus? What do you got to say there? All insects in China breathe a sign of relief all at once. Climate impact. What from the disinfectant? Kind of confused about that one, but keep letting me know how you feel, because that's the only way we keep this conversation going. So lots of different talk about how this actually started and what the main cause is. And one thing, as you can see here, article, snakes are likely the source of China's deadly coronavirus. Here's why. And there are so many different interpretations that people have, but we'll entertain this one, okay? So snakes, the Chinese krait and the Chinese cobra, may be the original source of the newly discovered coronavirus that has triggered an outbreak of deadly infectious respiratory illness in China this winter. The illness was first reported in late December 2019 in Wuhan, a major city in central China, and has been rapidly spreading since then. Sick travelers from Wuhan have infected people in China and other countries, including the United States. Dun, dun, dun. Using samples of the virus isolated from patients, scientists in China have determined the genetic code of the virus and used microscopes to photograph it. The pathogen responsible for this pandemic is a new coronavirus. It's in the same family of viruses as well-known severe acute respiratory syndrome, coronavirus, SARS-CoV, and Middle East respiratory syndrome, coronavirus, MERS-CoV, which have killed hundreds of people in the past 17 years. The World Health Organization has named the new coronavirus 2019 nCoV. So I guess everything that we read in the beginning about that Middle East respiratory syndrome, the MERS-CoV, had nothing to do with this, and that's why you should continue watching the streams past the first 30 seconds. You got to say there, old Charles Patterson. A kindergarten pupil A kindergarten people who are in awe of junk science, a third grade level of approach by a class of lauded experts. It makes people want to give up simply because they stop becoming adults. I do not know what you mean, but I appreciate that comment. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just not intelligent today. So, we are virologists and journal editors and are closely following this outbreak because there are many questions that need to be answered to curb the spread of this public health threat. So what is the coronavirus? So like this is what we should have done in the beginning, right? So when I go back and edit this video, this is where the video will begin. Right here. What is coronavirus? The name of coronavirus comes from its shape, which resembles a crown of solar corona when imaged using an electron microscope. Great, it's a beautiful virus. Thank you. Okay, thanks. Good. Coronavirus is transmitted through the air and primarily infects the upper respiratory and gastrointestinal tract of mammals and birds. Though most of the members of the coronavirus family the coronavirus family only cause mild flu-like symptoms during infection. SARS-CoV and MERS-CoV can infect both upper and lower airways and cause severe respiratory illness and other complications in humans. This new 2019 nCoV causes similar symptoms to SARS and MERS. People infected with these coronaviruses suffer of very severe inflammatory response. Essentially, everything that I did say, I guess, in the beginning was similar to this. It did have to do with this, but I mean, you know what I'm saying. It wasn't the exact same virus, but it's in the same family. They have very similar symptoms, and you should be aware of both. IQ down 5 points. Decade ubiquitous. Does not help if they don't know at all. All news are fake. There's more than 100K infected in Wuhan. It's like an apocalyptic. The bodies everywhere. Yada yada yada. All news is fake, and that's why you got to go to the source and just look around, right? Like what we're doing here today. Is, am I fake? Is this news fake? Let's see. I'll pull that up in a second here, Lee. See what Lee had for the link in the chat. So yeah, just telling them from bats to snakes, right? Bats is another thing that people have been going on about. Why? Why are the snakes responsible? Researchers used an analysis of the protein codes favored by the new coronavirus and compared it to the protein codes from the coronavirus found in different animal hosts like birds, snakes, marmots, hedgehogs, manus, bats, and humans. Surprisingly, they found that the protein codes in the 2019 nCoV are most similar to those used in snakes. Okay, cool. Snakes often hunt for bats in the wild. Reports indicate that the snakes were sold in the local seafood market in Wuhan, raising the possibility that the 2019 nCoV might have jumped from the host species bats to snakes and then to humans at the beginning of the coronavirus outbreak. However, how the virus could adapt to both the cold-blooded and warm-blooded hosts remains a mystery. So that's pretty interesting because what I've heard so far is that the virus, I didn't start off with all these facts or whatever is on my head because I remember as we go on, right? So what I've heard before, the virus started in Wuhan at a fish market, okay? And then I've heard that it may have been caused by bats. Then I saw this article where it may have been caused by snakes. I thought, let's talk about this. What's going on? But with those, linking them all together, it's an interesting chain of events, right? And as I've heard other people discuss, I've never personally been to a Chinese fish market in Wuhan, but I have seen videos of people going out throughout different fish markets within China, maybe not in Wuhan, maybe in Wuhan. And it's very clear to see how a new strain of virus could potentially grow and become something that is to be there. Hey there, Kayleen. Thanks for joining us in the chat. This is bio-warfare, and we're all at war, right? This is one of those things to keep in mind. Is this something that is being perpetuated by the Chinese government in order to, they have a large population. They can afford to lose they can afford to probably lose a couple million people. The United States, they're not on the same level. The UK, they're really not on the same level. Is this a ploy to infect the world with biohazardous biohazardous chemical disease and infection in order to destabilize the way things are going and have China take over the world. It's a conspiracy theory. It's something to keep in mind, but I don't know. It's something to look into. So I'll pull this up if I can. Oh, I'm not. All right, I gotta get into YouTube if I want to pull up Lee's. Link. So I'll pull up another link here and start talking about it while I pull up that other link. Coronavirus, right? I think this is just giving you tips about how to. Yeah, it's like classic. It's normal. It's like you ever had the flu before. Coronavirus, reduce the risk of infection. You gotta wash your hands. Here, I'll pull it up. I'll make it even bigger if I can, just so that we can all get into get into the information, so we know. You need to wash your hands because clean hands with soap and water or alcohol-based hand rub. Right? Cover your nose and mouth. Cover nose and mouth when coughing or sneezing with tissue or flexed elbow. It's like this. Close contact. Avoid contact with anyone with cold or flu-like symptoms because, don't go around people who are sick. Thoroughly cooked. Thoroughly cook meat and eggs. And don't eat snakes. Protected contact. No unprotected contact with live wild or farm animals because you're going to infect them probably as well. Face mask. Wear face mask. So these are just like simple things that really are not going to help you. They're not going to help you. They're not going to help you out in the long run. These are just things that normal people do in order to avoid being sick at all times, except for wearing a face mask. And so that is useless. Absolutely useless in my opinion. I'm sorry if that wasn't any help to you. It wasn't any help to me either. Charles, you gotta say there that bats and snakes, bay mice, etc. Meme is just a joke. They are laughing at me. They're laughing at me too, eh? Well, I'm just here getting some information. Not really. Well, I've seen quite a bit of the memes, but it's one of those things. You gotta find where the information comes from. And so if that ends up being the case, that's the case. I don't mind being on that end of things. As you can see, we got this here. Chinese market at center of coronavirus outbreak sold wolves and rats to eat. Right? I don't know. Once again, as he says, but I've seen them eating quite a bit of weird things. Snakes and bats, okay. Wolves and rats, maybe. We got any video proof? And as you can see, oh Jesus! As we can see, we got this guy. They'll be a girl if I want them to, and you can be whatever you want there, hard animal. You got me, bud. You got me. Hardinal Jr. You can be whatever you want, bud. Yeah, same videos, taking them down. Chinese market at the center of the deadly coronavirus outbreak sold live animals, including wolf pups, foxes, rats, and peacocks to eat, according to a new report. But it doesn't link to the report. The wild animals were among 112 peddled at the central city of Wuhan. And then they link to this. Inside quarantine zone. So as you can see, yeah, things are ramping up. But as it stems right now, like we really don't know where it came from or like what started it. There are tons of different theories, conspiracy theories, memes, just different theories and things around it. But there are things that aren't you can't really fake. Things like this. So pull this up and have everybody join me along for the ride. But coronavirus, 13 cities shut down in China as death toll climbs. 13 now. And these are just being reported once again. Who knows what's happening in China that isn't being reported? Chinese authorities rapidly expand a mammoth quarantine effort aimed to containing a deadly contagion on Friday to 13 cities and a staggering 41 million people, as nervous residents were checked for fevers and death toll climbed to 26. So the death toll is already at 26. Like, that's absolutely wild. I don't even know really where to start when it comes to the fact that China has taken so much time to cover up what has been happening with this coronavirus situation, and almost as though they felt like they had it under lockdown. They could get it taken under control, and nobody was going to find out. But once it hit international levels, it was they couldn't stop it anymore. We are not in a contest. We are all trying, right? That is why we're here. And that's the whole thing, right? Yeah, I want to get okay. But yeah, we're not in a contest. It's like we're all trying to learn about what's going on. But what did you say there? It's also about contract law and all those things you signed without fathoming the content. It's about the products you buy and use. Did you read the contract? Maybe there's a conversation going on there that I don't know what you're talking about, but like in general, I have no clue what you're saying with that statement. But yeah, they're just to confuse me. Like that's what I'm saying here. Yeah. Either way, China took a long time to admit that this was something that was going on, right? And so with that, we now have. We have things like this happening. I'll just pull up this real quick. This is from one of the greatest news sites that you could ever get, right? CNN, the best one ever. But either way, it doesn't really matter. U.S. arranging charter flights. Oh, you hear him talking there? He's talking now. U.S. arranging charter flights to evacuate America diplomats and citizens out of China amid coronavirus outbreak. Right? Like they're getting out. They're like, fuck this. We're not sticking around. So I don't know. Interesting to me. It's something that it's something to definitely keep in mind if the Chinese diplomats are leaving China and they want American citizens to get out. I mean, the goal of the government is to keep the public as calm as possible, right? It's like you got to chill out, calm down. This isn't a big deal, but we'll see how it goes. It's also, is it one of those things where it's like, are we all just gonna get affected, and then it only hurts some people? Like, is that one of those things? Like, how bad is the thing in general? Is the virus? Because that's what we're learning and finding out right now. Because the information has been kept behind closed doors for so long, it's hard to find real information. But we're out there searching. The U.S. government's arranging for charter flights to evacuate everybody. The United States has a contract with Transporter to evacuate about 36 diplomats and their families from the U.S. consulate in Wuhan, China. The consulate is closed, and all U.S. diplomats are under ordered departure, the official said. They want them out. Like, get out. Like, it's not a good place to be right now. Let me know. Like, would you guys go to China right now? Like, I don't think that you even can. What do you got to say there, Pale Horse? You're going to have to shave your beard so a mask will have a nice seal. Oh, wow, man. Thank you. You just made that sink deep. You just really put that into perspective for me. I am going to have to shave my beard right off. If I want to be safe. I'm going to have to shave my beard off. But, it's just terrible. Thanks a lot, man. Bringing life into perspective. But you're keeping me safe, so I appreciate that. Oh, they noticed that I'm using ad block. Well, you know what, man? Okay, we'll get somewhere else. This guy, making me use ad block. Taking ad block off. All right, don't run on this page. I'll do it. I'll do it for you. I'll give them my whatever information, whatever they get. Look at all these ads that just pop up instantly. Get out of here. Look at this. I want none of this. I don't want to sign up for your newsletter. I want to read the article that you just posted. Can anybody help me? Does anybody know? Ad choices. Wow, what is this? Coronavirus claims 15 more lives in China. First 3 cases reported in Europe. First case reported in Australia. 2 cases confirmed in the United States. Right? Okay. See what we're saying here? Okay, it's like it's starting. Beijing, France confirmed. Okay, Beijing. What? France confirmed 3 cases of coronavirus Friday, marking the first confirmed diagnosis in Europe. As China expanded its effort to control its outbreak, and announced 15 new deaths. Deaths, not there's like hundreds of cases. Australia has confirmed its first case of coronavirus, and a second case was confirmed in the United States. Travel bans were extended in central China to put tens of millions of people effectively on lockdown in Wuhan, where the virus was first detected. Workers are racing to build a 1,000-bed hospital to treat victims of the disease. So they can't even treat them all. Authorities around China, including the capital of Beijing, have canceled the temple fairs and festivals. Like everything's pretty much just being shut down because large public gatherings where the airborne virus could spread. Right, airborne. There are at least 1,287 confirmed cases of infection, and at least 41 people have died. A total of 8,420 people are reported to be under observation, right? So, 1,200, just under 1,300 confirmed cases, right? Just under 8,500 fucking people are under observation. How many people do you think have come into contact with this 8,500 people, let alone this 1,200 people? These aren't just in one area. Like, this is a little bit mind-blowing, guys. A young, previously healthy man died in Wuhan, raising concerns about the deadliness of the virus. Until now, the vast majority of victims have been older than 60 with pre-existing conditions. Exactly what we were just talking about. Figuring out exactly how deadly this virus actually is and how much it was going to affect the overall population. I really want to know how you guys feel. Do you think that this is something that is going to affect the majority of the population, or do you think that this is something that only I guess younger or the older people will have to really worry about? Right? 10 times. We got some trolls in the chat, but that's all good. Everybody's good with trolls. In Central Park, it's actually kind of grim sounding, right? 41 deaths out of 10,000 known cases. Exactly. Those are terrible statistics. That's what's grim sounding. That's what he's saying. That's really bad. Infections have been confirmed in Australia, France, South Korea, Japan, Nepal, Thailand, Singapore, Vietnam, Taiwan, and the United States. Authorities are enforcing a lockdown across large parts of the province of Hubei, affecting more than 35 million people, but the precise number remains unclear. The Chinese medical system has clearly struggled to cope with the outbreak, with reports of crowded hospitals, stressed doctors, and dwindling supplies. Australia confirms first case, yada, yada, yada. We just went over it. Third case confirmed in France. China may be underreporting cases and deaths, health experts say. So here's exactly what I've been talking about. Pretty much this entire stream. If you weren't here earlier, you can go back and see for yourself. But this is what I'm saying, okay? China has been underreporting the cases and deaths, and health experts are saying it, not just me, right? Not just me. It's spreading faster than my cheeks. That's right. It's spreading pretty dang quick. And everybody's still sick. Everybody's getting sick all day, every day. But yeah, let's get into this. China may be underreporting cases of deaths, health experts say. Washington. As new cases of coronavirus surge, health experts inside and outside the U.S. government say they believe the Chinese government is significantly underreporting the number of cases and deaths in that country. By the end of Friday, local time, China said that it had 1,010 cases and a total of 41 deaths. Many more cases are not being reported, experts believe, based on reports from non-government sources in China. We heard it was over 1,000 when they were only reporting a couple hundred cases, said the one HHS official, who is not authorized to discuss internal conversations and spoke on the condition of anonymity. The official declined to say what the U.S. government estimate is for the true case count. So they're even keeping this information a secret to you as the American public as well. So not only does the Chinese government feel as though that their population doesn't deserve to know the real amount of danger that they are potentially in, but the spokespersons that are representing the United States government within those countries also feel as though they the thing is they need to get their people out. As we all know, China has a very strict policy of not allowing people to put out information that is contradictory to what the government's saying, and therefore to have these politicians or diplomats in that other country bringing forth this information, that puts their lives at risk as well. But you're putting so many people, so many lives, like the world, you're putting the world at risk. You need to get them out. The fact that China is punishing people who are speaking out about this and giving information is absolutely wild. It's mind-blowing. It puts into perspective just what a communist nation would really be like, and just look what's happening. Look what's happening. And you have people that still support China in the way that their government operates. It's kind of mind-boggling to me, but they've put the entire world at risk, and I think that we're going to see some potentially devastating results because of it. So, internal conversations, yada, 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 true case. Does wearing a face mask work? An expert explains. No. Whoa. Hey.
Digital potential.
A
chance to turn your enterprise.
Nobody wants any of this. No, I'm going to tell you right now. We don't even need the video. Wearing a face mask, it's going to help you a little bit from dust and grime, but you're going to need something like heavy duty. You're going to need like a full serious respirator type mask if you want to stop this shit. That may not even help. Some experts have said the discrepancy could stem from the initial focus on the most severe. Yeah, let's get back into this, the way that China has been covering up this situation. Some experts have said the discrepancy could stem from the initial focus on the most severely ill patients and could be a result of Chinese officials catching up with the sick people rather than deliberate underestimates. I don't know. Do you think they're deliberately underestimating it, or do you... Or what? Do you think this is I don't know. It's kind of confusing. Do you think that the government was just messing up, or do you think that they were deliberately putting out false reports? A police report sent to clients by financial service firm Raymond James estimated the number of cases to be at least 10 times the number reported publicly. Right? So not 1,000, right? It's 10,000 at the very least. The report author, Chris Meekins, a former HHS official, said the analysis is based on information from academic researchers and consultants working with Chinese hospitals. Our checks reveal that lines stretched outside of the urban and rural hospitals and triage facilities have been set up, Meekins wrote. Right? Okay, so whatever. Essentially what they figure is that the figures are at least 10 times, guys, 10 times higher. And they're reporting 1,200 now at this point, right? So we'll just go with the figure of just the 10. And that's even, I don't want to get into it, but I mean, that's significantly higher than what's being reported, even if it's just a minor mistake. And the thing is that I feel like the Chinese government is really who's at blame here, right? In this situation, they didn't step up. They didn't admit their fault. They did not want to admit to the public that there was a serious outbreak and that things needed to be done. And so I'm going to look up an article, see if I can find it again, about the there was apparently a situation where there was like some sort of dinner, in Wuhan. So let's get in. See if I can get the information for you. Sorry, some dead air. I got some dead air. Sorry. Looks like I can't find the article. So take it as a grain of salt, right? I just need a couple more minutes to get into some situations where I'm not put here on the spot. But here, I'll tell you the story that I heard, and who knows? Don't even remember where it came from. So it could be a whole damn lie. But this is the type of thing that's out there, right? So much information. And so something that I heard was that there was a dinner, like a state dinner for lots of the like diplomats and stuff, over like 100 people or something in Wuhan, right after the outbreak had started, and the government just let it happen anyways, because this is a time where like there's lots of celebrations going on, right? It's nuts. There's tons of celebrations happening, and they aren't being put off, but now they are, I guess. Keep in mind that we're still kind of panic hysteria window where you can't really believe anything that you hear. Maybe in a week or two, it'll be a little bit more clear. And that's exactly what we're talking about here, right? So this whole stream has essentially been to go over the information that we could find and see what people were saying, what kind of information was out there, and just like what was coming up. Because President Trump thanks China for its efforts to contain the virus. Well, I don't think they really had much efforts to contain the virus. But anyways, yeah, we just wanted to go over everything and see what we could find, see what kind of information that we had. Is there anything that you guys have seen? So I'll pull up that. I will pull up that link that Lee had in the chat from earlier. I just would have to get to the stream that we're streaming here right now, because I don't have it pulled up anywhere, and then get into the chat, get into that link, and then get it up on the screen. And I'm going to do that within like 3 seconds here. So if you guys just hold on for like a couple seconds, here we go. Like not in 3 seconds. Okay. It's going to be less than 30 seconds, but it's going to be like 15 type seconds. Like there it is right there. Click the link already. Now I'm pulling it over. Here we go. There it is. See, updates, 41 dead, 1,287 infected. Move on. From somewhere, some sort of news. But we'll play the video. What do you got there?
Top story this evening, the Wuhan coronavirus is
Wuhan? It's called Wuhan? Spreading around the world. I've been saying it wrong this whole time.
China is on high alert after health authorities confirmed some
Come on.
1,287 cases of it.
Oh, they're pretty much just saying everything that I just said, and I don't think that you guys can even hear the video. So either way, China is on high alert. Chinese man in his 50s confirmed in Australia, confirmed in Nepal, confirmed. It's all over the place. Oh, you're saying this is from Singapore. Yeah. Okay, that is it right there. You got it. The zombies are coming. It's a zombie apocalypse. That's pretty much like where we're at right now, right? It's like we're all just hanging out, doing our thing. 2020 just rolled around, and here it is. Zombie apocalypse. It's what we're here for. I don't know, guys. I wanted to see what was going on, see what see what was going on, see what we could figure out, and yada yada yada. Look up Wuhan gunshots. You can hear gunshots going off one by one. I'm not like, but gunshots for what? I just don't trust you. So I'm gonna pull this up. Right? You guys can read his name. He caught me once before, right? I don't trust you, man. And you can yell at me if you want, but I mean, I don't know if I should look that up. But okay. I heard that also there was a shooting and burning. They were shooting and burning the infected. Okay. Then I'll do this. I'll do that for you guys. I'll look that up. Wuhan. They could be fireworks, right? But I mean, like, what are they celebrating? Wuhan gunshots. That's pretty interesting. So yeah, this is what I'm saying. We're looking up what's happening, and I will continue to keep myself updated. So, I mean, if you guys want more streams where we research the information together, let me know, and we can continue to look things up. China takes for shooting gold. I don't know. It's not coming up. I gotta go to. So here, I'll show you. Give me a sec here. Wuhan gunshots. I'll pull this up for you. As you guys can see, there's nothing that I can find. So I'm gonna go to like the search results past 24 hours. See what we can find. And that's how it happens, right? It's like, what's going on? What is this? Man infected with the Wuhan virus tried to escape, but security forces forced him to return to the ambulance. Okay. Why is he why are you trying to run away? What are they doing though? Like, why are they forcing people to try to run away is the question. Oh, this is the one with the gunshot, eh? Okay. Oh, okay. Here, I'll pull this up for you guys. Okay. So many more things. So I got like this plan. Jeez Louise, guys. Jeez Louise. It does sound like it could be fireworks or something. I'll pull this up so that you guys can actually like hear a little better. Don't really sound like fireworks. Kind of sounds like fireworks at the beginning, but near the end, that doesn't really sound too much like fireworks. Yeah, that's super weird. Is that the video that you guys saw? Let me know if that's the video you were talking about. But that's just so messed up. Like Charlie said there, people who are truly not afraid to die have everyone else at slight disadvantage. Why is this relevant? Right? Why is that relevant? Well, it may be relevant because it leaves you in a position that's slightly ahead of the crowd depends on how you look at morality, but what does it say? Please read my last two posts and insights and facts. Okay, I will. Google the Liverpool Care Plan. Now, this is the end of life care and the DNR do not resuscitate procedure. And simply an excuse to build the two hospitals would have looked a bit odd building otherwise. Hospitals are the tool used to end lives early or hasten death, as they refer to it, end of life care. So I'll look that up. I will. Google the Liverpool Care Plan. Okay. We'll do that, guys. We'll do that here together now. So, what are we talking about? What is this? Take your prize now. What have you gotten me into? Trying to give me viruses here? What are you talking about? What is this? I'm just here looking up everything you tell me to look up now. Every day in the hospital, they hasten life. I don't know how to explain it. Okay, so I don't know. Maybe this is something that I'll have to look up on my own. Wuhan doctor dies 9 days after contracting deadly disease. This, I think this is going to be the last story that I break into today. This is something that I had heard as well. So there's been so many different cases and different stories around this situation, and this is another one that I'd heard. So apparently it has to do with a situation that's like I don't know what you want to call it. You want to call this like a life lesson type thing, but apparently this was a doctor that was advocating for the fact that it wasn't that bad. It wasn't too bad of a situation. People didn't need to be worried, and then he ended up contracting the virus himself, and had quite a different mindset about it. But we're gonna get into this and see if this is that story, and if not, this is a different story that we're reading. China's president Xi Jinping, whatever his name is, warns of grave situation as killer coronavirus accelerates, doctor dies, and U.S. evacuates its citizens from hotspot Wuhan after death toll jumps to 42, now 1,372 cases, and 56 million on lockdown. So like all the numbers are different. The Wuhan coronavirus has now infected more than 1,400 people, yada, yada, yada. The deadly coronavirus accelerating in China. The Chinese president spoke following emergency government meeting. As of 8 p.m. local time on Saturday, the death toll in China had risen to 42. Yada, yada, yada. We've heard this 1,000 times. It's all over the place. And yeah, that's pretty much where we're at right now. It's spreading like wildfire. It's literally everywhere. As you can see, people with their masks, people all in the crowded waiting rooms. President of China telling people that it's not a big deal and they don't need to worry about it, yet everybody's in hazmat suits. Right? This is pretty much the way it goes. And so, yeah, guys, that's pretty much what we're gonna do for today, I think. And I can see that Kelsey said look up quarantine zone China Wuhan virus. You can hear gunshots in the background. I think we may have just looked that video up a couple seconds ago. We heard something with some gunshots in the background. I'm sure a lot more. What did you got to say there? 1,771 cases and 55 deaths now, right? All sorts of information. I'm wondering why all of you don't already know this stuff, because there's so much information out there that it's hard to actually get. It's hard to get it all, and it's hard to get factual information. That's why we're doing what we're doing here today. We're just going around real time. You can hang out, join, throw up any sort of facts or information that you want us to look into, and just discuss it and talk about it and see what kind of information that we can find, right? Because when you get all of your information fed to you from the mainstream media, you tend to get a biased point of view, and not necessarily exactly what you intended to come for. So, yeah, let me know if you guys want some more coverage of this as it continues to progress. I think that in the future I will. I don't know. I'll be continuing to watch this unfold and see where we're at. As you can see, there are individuals passing out on the ground, in the streets. Cities are being shut down. Cities are being put in quarantine. It's something that, something that is to be definitely looked at and watched carefully. We don't really know what the outcome is going to be. Like's been said, it's going to be a week or so before we fully know what's going on. But I don't know. Let me know. What do you guys think? How do you guys feel? Do you think that this is something that we actually have to really worry about? You don't shut down 18 cities for 55 deaths when the common cold kills thousands a year. Wake up, right? Is this something that makes sense to anybody out there? There have been 1,000 conspiracy theories, different things that have been going around. Is this the government trying to shut down control the population? Is this the government trying to implement biowarfare throughout the entire world because they can afford to lose a few million of their citizens? What's actually happening? Please watch this video on YouTube and advise me if it's proven fake. Listen to the words. Classified bill defends against flesh eating. Well, Richard, let me know if does that have anything to do with what we're talking about? We can do that on the next stream. We can do it again, but for sure, if you guys want to ever just come and pop by and have just chill streams, look me up on Twitch at twitch.com/BigPapaTDog. I just do regular streams there all the time. We watched some cringy Survivor things the other day for a couple hours. It was good. We just talk about whatever. but it's a little bit less stressful than what's going on here in YouTube. I don't want to agree, but I might have no choice. They tell me I am wasting my time here with you. I don't know what you're saying. The video I mentioned has at least 5 shots going off in the background. We're all going to die. Okay, Kelsey, we'll look up that video. I don't have to go. I don't have to go right now. I can look this up. It was uploaded 1 hour ago. Okay, I didn't see your comments there. Okay, where is it here? Look up quarantine zone China Wuhan virus. Okay. That's what we'll do. Quarantine zone China Wuhan virus. I didn't spell quarantine right. Yeah, laugh at me. Go ahead. The past 24 hours. So what are we looking at here? Where's it out of? Like, what am I, what site am I looking for? Don't leave me now, Kelsey. I need that info. Where's this video from? We got nothing. 22 hours ago, first quarantine patient in East China, Chinese medics. I might already be infected too, man. Everyone might be infected already. It may be something that's just we've already all been infected by it, perhaps. I'll play this just because it's there waiting for Kelsey. YouTube. Okay, is this the one? It wouldn't make sense because this is like a... That makes no sense. All right, I'll just type it into YouTube. Yeah. I get it. I can't spell quarantine. So it was uploaded within the last hour. It's here on YouTube, but there's no results found for me because YouTube wants to suppress my views of things. I gotta get rid of that. I gotta go back. I gotta go to today. What do we got? This 15-second one. Yeah, so that's like absolutely crazy. Like, what's actually going on there is the question that we have, right? As you guys can see, I'll play it again for you, just so that you can get the full perspective. But yeah, this is the second video now that we have of gunshots or fireworks or some sort of explosions happening in the background of these quarantined areas within Wuhan. So, like, you have people laying in the streets. You have these bangs going off in the background. The question is, what is happening, right? And so, not only what is happening within Wuhan, what's happening within the world, what's happening with this virus. That's literally it. That's where I'm at. Trying to figure it out. We're all here. We're all together. We're all in the same boat. We're literally all. We're all figuring it out together. We're all right there now, guys. Like, it's not it's something that's new. It's something that's coming out. It's not for the faint of heart, but it's something that we gotta keep in mind, guys. It's something to keep researching. So if you'd like to see more of these streams, let me know. Drop a comment in the section below, and I'll keep you updated. I'll keep you investigating as I keep investigating. But I don't know. With that being said, I'll see what you all have to say here. Start reading books. What do you say? Start reading books that you've been misled. Everybody should listen to Charles on that. I'm speaking in general sense. You can define yourself. Yep. They vomit black juices. That is probably the zombies. Innocent is only attract. Okay, that's not something. Um, that's them shooting the elderly because they don't have enough supplies. See, like that's what I mean. All these people. So pretty much there you go. You said your final words. You said your piece. I'll see you guys in the comments below. I'll see you in the next stream. I'll be around here on YouTube. And yeah, I guess with that being said, my name's Elder. This has been another stream on my channel, investigating different things. And I think you know the rest. Be your own hero, kids.